Let's talk about the Beyoncé effect on the church. Of Christ. There are many churches out there, but I'm talking about the Beyoncé effect on the Church of Christ. Everybody is familiar with that song, Church Girls. Everybody is familiar with that poem that she wrote talking about bleeding on the Bible. Yeah. But Beyoncé has a history of doing satanic stuff. She have a history of straight up blaspheming the Bible. That album, that picture, her riding a white horse or something, using it in Revelation. Now, Beyoncé is familiar with the church. Started out in the church, have some knowledge of God, but were led astray. Her daddy sold her into their world. But my issue is when she took that song, she used some of that song by the Clock Sisters and used it against the church. All those sisters are preachers, except for one, I think. Everybody in that family, all those women are pretty much preachers. They are deeply involved, deeply represent the church. They are the head, so to speak. Two of them sisters' husbands are bishops. But as far as I know, only one somebody, a well-known church figure, actually kind of spoke up. Now, he didn't really rebuke Beyoncé. He did it a slick way. He went through the church. Y'all heard what Bishop Wooden said to the Clock Sisters. And as far as I know, the only thing that was said after that was, y'all leave Beyoncé alone. That was it. was it. Nothing else after that. Mind you, they were the titles evangelists, preachers. I think one of them sisters called herself a apostoless. I think I read somewhere in the Bible, it tells us to defend the gospel, defend the faith. Paul told Timothy, fight the good fight of salvation. And what the Bible say, fight the good fight, defend the faith. Now, the Bible don't call for violence, but we are to do as much as we can. At least you defend the faith as much as you can. All you can do is rebuke, rebuttal, speak out against it. Let the world know where you stand. Just like in a family. We might fight amongst each other. Some families do, we might fight amongst each other and stuff like that. But we definitely ain't gonna let those outsiders pick on our family. If you do, you don't defend your family, something wrong with you. When we were growing up as kids, that's what we were taught. We might squabble between one another, even cousins and stuff, but ain't nobody gonna mess with us. I ain't gonna stand around and watch somebody pick on you, and I ain't gonna defend. People don't understand what that Bible calls for. Preaching causes you to go against the grain. Being a preacher causes you to speak out. You got to warn the world. You got to warn the people. The stuff that coming out of churches now is not what God really called for. Look at the instructions that Apostle Paul gave to Timothy. He said, you're going to face all sorts of stuff, all sorts of resistance. You're going to come up against a whole lot. The gainsayers. You're going to face it. But don't be weary. Don't be scared. Speak the truth. Preach the gospel. You got to preach the gospel no matter what. You got to defend the faith no matter what. A lot of people call themselves preachers, men and women, in the land today, especially in America. They don't preach the gospel. They have hijacked the pulpit. They have hijacked the microphone. Y'all leave Beyoncé alone. Kinda in a way defended. Trying to be in the middle. You can't be that way. If you wasn't compromised, you wouldn't have no problem stepping to the microphone getting in the pulpit and letting the world know exactly where you stand at. Don't mess with the church. That should be your message to the world. When they step on, when they pick on the church, you shouldn't have no problem stepping up, defending the church. And if you're not trying to be friends with the world, then you would do that. I heard her preaching one time, and she was in her sermon. She made sure to tell the world that Beyoncé and Snoop Dogg and all them folks is their friends. Said it with passion. We know they are friends because it's on record where they work with them, recording music. Some people say, well, what's wrong with that? A whole lot wrong with that. The Bible says, be ye separated from the world. Give them the gospel. You don't record no music with them. You give them the gospel. Every chance you get, you give them the gospel. They don't want to hear it. Still got to give them the gospel. That's what the Bible calls for. A lot of people don't understand the role of being preachers. That's why the Bible really tells women to be quiet and be at home. This stuff requires a lot of heavy lifting. When Jesus sent the apostles out in the book of Matthew, he warned them. He sent them out 2 by 2. He warned them what they're going to be facing. What they're going to come up against. They're going to be rejected. People ain't going to want to hear them. He sent them out into the world to preach the gospel. He ain't sent them out there to cozy up to the world. The apostles spent their entire mission running from danger, running from the headhunters. Not the fact that they were scared, because there's many places in the scriptures where Apostle Paul were forced to leave by his own people. He didn't want to leave, but he had to leave. Had to go. So if you got preachers that are afraid to open their mouth and speak against the world, something wrong with them preachers. They ain't sent of God. They ain't doing the work of God. And that go for all the celebrity preachers. Ain't none of them doing the work. They being friends with the world. Marvin Sapp, he's another one. I just seen something with him with Layla Hathaway and all that. But I seen a recent clip of him all passionate about holding the Bible so sacred and all this. But he been working with R. Kelly for years. Despite the trouble that R. Kelly in, you take that away, he's still worldly. He's still of the world. The Bible still forbids it. The Bible forbids it. Pastors and bishops know that. How can they not know that in their bishop, they preachers, is in the Bible? Ain't no excuse. A lot of other preachers guilty of the same thing. Working with the world. Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, escape. Monica. The list go on and on. I think Kurt Franklin did a song with TLC or something like that. What the Bible say?